Hello, I'm Aaron and I welcome you to Let's Learn. In this edition, we are going to be solving questions. Let's start with question 1. Question 1. Let's start by jotting our data. Therefore, we have our universal set to be 32 students. Have the number of students that offer mathematics to be 22. That of chemistry, 18. And physics, 16. Not forgetting 6 offer all the 3 of the subjects. So we have M intersection C intersection P equals 6. Whereas 3 offer physics and chemistry only. Now we have physics, that's C and physics. So that's 3. And we have 5 offering physics alone. So you have physics and you have only is 5. The first thing we were asked to do is to illustrate this on a Venn diagram. Therefore, okay, there are 1, 2, and 3. Mathematics, chem, and physics, which are universal set 32. Mathematics 22, chemistry 18, and that of our physics is 16. Whereas we have physics only to be 5. We have all the 3 subjects, that's intersection of mathematics, chemistry, and physics to be 6. And we have chemistry intersection physics, that's this portion, to be 3. The rest of the sites are not given, so we name them how we want. I choose to name them A, B, and C. Let's move on to our I. Let's find our I. So we were asked to find chemistry. Okay. Let's see from the diagram. From the diagram, our C is our chemistry only. Sorry, this portion was its name. Let's name it D. The C is the chemistry only, so we are finding for C. In order to find for C, we have to maneuver ways where we can find for C. Therefore, we take this whole portion out by adding them, and the sum of this portion gives us 22. So if we have this portion as 22, that means when we add this, and that of this, we are supposed to get 32. So let's write it. So we have mathematics, that's M plus C. This plus the intersection, that's C intersection P plus P only is equal to 32. So now let's put in the figures. The M, that's mathematics, was given to be 22. We don't know the C. C intersection P is 3. and P only is 5. We have our universal set to be 32. Let's add them. This gives us 8 plus this. We have 30. So we have C plus 30 equals 32. Remove the 30 to the other side. So we have C equals 32 minus 30, whereas C is equal to 2. So we can write, therefore, chemistry only equals 2. Student. II, we are asked to find only one subject. When we talk about only one subject, it means we are supposed to find the portions A, C, and that we already have the 5 here. So therefore, we are also found for the C here. Now we have to find for A. But before we can find for A, we have to find for B and D. Since without them we can't find for A. So let's find for B. But before, let's write the equation. We have A mass only plus chemistry only plus physics only, where chemistry only equals 2 and physics only equals 5. So therefore, we have to use the chemistry side to find for the B. Since we have this, we can find for the B here. And also we have to find for the D. We have the figures in here, and that's of D not known. So we equate this to the 16 to find for D. We also equate this to the 18 to find for the B. So let's write the equations. That's the first one, the B. We have B plus C plus 6 plus 3 is equal to 18. And that's the first one. Then we have the second one to be D plus 6 plus 3 plus 5 is equal to 16. Sorry, question 2. Let's find for the B. Whereas we have C to be equal to 2. So therefore, we solve it. We have B plus 2 plus C plus 6 plus 3 is equal to 18. So B is equal to B plus, we have 11 is equal to 18. So B equals 18 minus 11. B equals 7. Let's solve D. D plus 6 plus 3 plus 5 equals 16. D plus, we have 14 equals 16. We have D equals 16 minus 14. Therefore, we have D to be 2. Let's illustrate our answers in the diagram so we can have a clear view of it. We have mathematics to be 22. We have chemistry to be 18. We have our universal set to be 32. We have our physics to be 16. This is already 5, as we know. We have 3. We have our C to be 2. We have our B to be 7. This was given as 6. And that of this as 2. Lastly, A, since still we haven't found it. Now let's find A. Since we have 1, 2, 3, 4, we can find A. Now we equate A plus 7 plus 6 plus 2 to 22. Therefore A plus, we are going to get 15 is equal to 22. For A is equal to 22 minus 15. For A equals 7. Now since we have A, let's fix it inside. Therefore we have maths only, we have chemistry only, and also we have physics only. So let's add them. Maths only to be 7 plus physics only to be 5, plus chemistry only to be 2, which gives us a sum of 14. So therefore we write, 14 students offers only one subject. I, where we are asked to find only 2 subjects. With only 2 subjects, since we already found for the B and the D and we have them to be 7 and 2, we add the intersection between M and C, that's this side, then the intersection between C and P, that's this side, and the intersection between M and P, that's this side. So we have 7 plus 3 plus 2, which gives us a sum of 12. So therefore we write, 12 students offers only 2 subjects. Question 2. Let's jot our data down. We have A with elements M, A, P, and E. We have B with elements A, E, I, O, and U. Then we have C with elements L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, and T. I. We are asked to find A union B. So therefore we find A union B. We unite the A with that of the B, but it has to be in the alphabetical order. So let's arrange them. We have A, since A is the first alphabet here. We have E, we have I, we have M, we have O, and we have our U. We are done with I. Let's move on to II. We have A union C. As we did with I, so as we are doing to II. So we are uniting A and C. So we have A, we have E, we have L, we have M, we have N, we have O, we have P, we have Q, we have R, we have S, and we have T. I. We have A union bracket open, B intersection C. So with this, let's find B intersection C first. So B intersection C. With B intersection C, we have the elements of O, since it's the only alphabet that can be found in C, B, and at the same time C. So we have O as the intersection, that's B intersection C. Now let's combine A union B intersection C. So we have A union B intersection C, to be equal to, we have A, we have E, we have M, we have O, and P. Question 3. We have to find our data. So finding our data, we have our universal set to be 20 players. Therefore, we have attackers to be 8, defenders 12, midfielders 12, attackers intersection midfielders is 5, then defenders intersection midfielders is 6. We have attackers only to be 2, and attackers intersection defenders intersection midfielders equals 3. The first question says we should illustrate this on a Venn diagram. Let's illustrate it on a Venn diagram. So therefore we have this. We have A, we have D, and we have M. 12, and 8. U is equal to 20. We have the intersection, that's this part, to be 3. We have athletics only to be 2. The problem here is we had A intersection M, that's attackers and the midfielders. Since only wasn't added, we need to subtract the 3 here from the 5 to get A intersection M only. So 3 minus 5 gives us 2. That's of the same as D intersection M, that was given to be 6. We have to subtract this from the 6 to get the defenders intersection midfielders only. So therefore it gives us 3. So we put 1 here, we represent the rest by alphabet. So we have A, B, C. Let's move on to B. Whereas B has sub-questions, of which I says we should find midfielders only. So which one is it? That's C. To find for C, we would have to equate the sum of C, 2, 3, and 3 to the 12. So therefore, let's add them. We have C plus 3 plus 3 plus 2 is equal to 12. Where C is equal to C plus, we have 8 is equal to 12. C is equal to 12 minus 8. Therefore, C is equal to 4. So we can write, therefore, 4 players play only midfield. Let's move to the II. Exactly 2 rows. With the exactly 2 rows, we are going to add that of this, the intersection between attackers and the midfielders, and the intersection between attackers and the defenders, and lastly the intersection between defenders and the midfielders, of which you have A plus 2 plus 3. We don't have our A, so we find A before we can find our answer. So in finding A, we use that of the set attackers. Since we have all the values in there, let's use that one. So we have 2 plus 2 plus 3 plus A is equal to 8. Therefore, we have 7 plus A is equal to 8. You have A is equal to A minus 8 minus 7, have A is equal to 1. Since we have A, we can find exactly 2 rows. We have 1 plus 2 plus 3, which gives us a sum of 6. So we write, therefore, 6 players play exactly 2 rows. This brings us to the end of this edition. Thank you.